Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the test account, and that is right. We finally have a little bit more pictures and exposure to the new Draconic hero. Now we know this is going to be a highborn Draconic hero, which means that we're going to need Insignia'S to actually get this hero, which also means that we're not getting very many Insignia'S. When it comes to getting these heroes, it is super expensive. So right here we do have the plate glass. It's really cool looking. I love how they did this. I love the progression in here. But as you can see, we're getting 10 Insignia'S out of here, which we know it's been roughly taking 50 to 65 Draconis Insignia'S to actually get a copy of the hero. If you tried building Hildwyn, if you tried building Gwen, and now of course we have a third introduction with minimal to no way to get these Insignia'S because they are super hard to get through. So kind of thinking it and mulling it over, thinking about some possibilities that they could actually do to add this is putting them into more different places. And they've kind of talked about that a little bit, is adding a few different places where Insignia'S are going to be relevant. But what I'm worried about is they're going to do with Insignia'S what they kind of did with the Temple of Time emblems, meaning that they're going to be very difficult to acquire, or you're going to be sharing other resources in the same manner to get those Insignia'S. For instance, if we look at the Temple Rift, if we look at a couple other places, if they're going to add essentially Insignia'S in there that you can buy, that means you're going to have to buy less of everything else that's in that shop, which of course is not what we want to see. Now in this one, you can see there is an overview. It is still kind of locked, but at this point, it did give us another 4 Draconis Insignia'S. So, okay, so we got 14 Insignia'S. We know out of probably the Voyage of Wonder that we're sitting right here, the Day of Leisures, that we're probably going to get another 10, I'd say. So we're getting 10 for the Journey Dawn, 10 for the Day of Leisure, and then of course we're getting 12 for the First Glance, which means we're getting 34 Insignia'S, which won't even give you a copy, unfortunately, of the hero. But you can see right there in the backdrop, the water dragon that's back there. So it is a very unique design hero. I know a lot of players were also saying they don't see the utility of the hero. They don't know exactly where they're going to be used. But when it comes to the Dragon Forge, and I didn't know if the patch notes were actually going to be up, they might come up in probably about another hour, usually about 8 a.m. The patch notes will come up. But looking at the Draconic heroes itself within the Dragon Isle, this again is a very expensive way. So they need to reduce the cost of getting those regular Draconic heroes, because right now, $5,000 or 5,000 diamonds a summon are super expensive, especially looking at what you're kind of getting. They're not really on the same level that we're seeing with the Celestials and the Hypos. And even when it comes to utility wise, we only have 2. We have Nyla and we have Gwen that are seeing a lot of utility. Hildwyn we're seeing just because I believe a lot of players got him free, and he is kind of like a support mage. But even when it looks at the Dragonheart Temple, you get 1 of these literally a week. So the slowest way to build these, and of course, looking at the cost, when you start looking at Draconic Insignia'S, which again, looking at a $100 bundle will give you 50 of these Insignia'S. 50 Insignia'S might not even get you a copy of one of these heroes. So you're dropping $100 in there to possibly not get a hero at all. This is way more expensive than we're seeing even with the Temple of Time and the Time emblems. Now, of course, when it comes to what could we do with this, how could we adjust it, how could it be changed? Honestly, the best way would probably be adding some of the Draconis Insignia'S in the store. And even I know one of the comments we got was, when you look here at our Time emblems, is even taking something like our Time emblems, just have the Time emblems that are now available purchased for gold, and then the Draconis Insignia'S that you can get for the 500 diamonds. Because very similar to what we were kind of talking about earlier, when it comes to the shop itself, we have kept adding more and more items in here that require diamonds to buy, which means, of course, you're counteracting the ability for players to get new heroes and the players to actually summon heroes, because all of their diamonds are being consumed in here, essentially building heroes. Now, Dream Store, the exact same. We did add them in here, but when you start looking at the Dream Store and it resets once a month, meaning out of this Dream Store, you can get 10 Insignia'S every single month. And here we have the Time emblems, but unfortunately, we're not seeing any Draconic, so I don't know if possibly they're going to put them in here. But even looking at the Labyrinth Store is pretty full on what we have in here. Challenger Store, kind of the same. Now, the Barrack Store, they could make some adjustments in this store personally, just because, again, short of buying, most players do buy the Elite Stones out of here, but we could put some Draconic emblems in here, which I know you don't get a ton of the Hero Stones, especially because of the exchange we have right now of Rimuru and Shuna. But overall, out of those two, honestly, I would probably get Shuna before I would get Rimuru. Just looking utility-wise at a question that I've been getting a lot. Shuna would be the one that I would pick up long before Rimuru for the simple fact the utility that we're seeing with this hero being a support hero and a dimensional hero is very, very high. Meaning, again, this would be my choice to pick out of there. But Draconic Heroes, guys, even looking at the Dragon Gift, now remember, this is 3 of 4, meaning we are getting one more single copy of Hildwyn. Now, if we only get one more copy of Hildwyn, even on my YouTube account, that leaves me one single copy short of getting him ascended with 1 star. So I'm going to have to do some summons for Hildwyn. I also do need one additional copy of Gwen to actually get her up to ascended. And of course, we spent quite a bit in there to get some more of those Insignia'S, but that would only take Gwen to ascended. I still have to work and get another 3 copies to add the star on there. If I can get the star on there, we also do have, of course, the brand new hero that's already coming up that with no probability and no, really no way to get the new hero. I know a lot of whales. I know Kilby Ross. A lot of other players have done a ton of comments over, on Discord, on Reddit, on a bunch of different places about the sheer cost of these. And unfortunately, it looks like as of now, a lot of players, and I'm not sure why this isn't claiming this or if it already did, but it seems like a lot of players are just slowly falling out of AFK Arena as everything is becoming exponentially more expensive. They're kind of almost pricing themselves out of everything, which I really do hate to see because I still do absolutely love the game and also playing AFK Companions. So I want to talk about that for a minute. So AFK Companions, it does have 2 new beasts, but it kind of revamps, and I want to kind of talk about what it is. So AFK Companions, we started on 1-1, so we started at the very beginning. And it is a way to almost work together with other players, which is pretty cool because I can actually borrow players or you form kind of a union. One player puts in 3 heroes, another player puts in 3 heroes. You can use those heroes that are borrowed from other players indefinitely. So meaning that I can go through, 2 chapters of progression within AFK Arena. And going in there, I can use other heroes that other players have. So it's kind of like a support system. And then, of course, they did revamp the beast system. So there is a little bit of changes when it comes to our beasts. And also there are new beasts. I'm going to have to cover it a little bit later because my problem is I have it on the phone. So I have it on my iOS device, but I do not have it on here. I do not have it on BlueStacks to actually have the ability to go in here to get this. Because, of course, when you're playing on a mobile device like an iOS device, I'll have to figure out if we can do like a screen recorder, if we can do anything like that to actually get it kind of broadcasted on here so we can go through and we can run it. We got the green light early this morning that we could go ahead and share some of the gameplay with there. And again, there's a lot of changes, but I feel like it's super impressive and super interactive. You get an absolute ton of heroes, which is exactly what we need, the ability to get a lot more heroes. Don't know where it's going to be when it comes to the higher level heroes because they are not in this beta version. So we're going to have to check it out. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.